Right, hello, welcome back to the Run Across Europe. We are in Luxembourg, in Clervaux. Gorgeous little town. We're going to be outside of it in a few minutes, so I'll fill you in then and just enjoy the views for the minute. I'm going a little out of the way because I want to show you this church. It's unreal, but it's not the way we have to go, so I'll come back. Very loud. Okay, hello, welcome back to the Run Across Europe. We are in Luxembourg and I started recording today's video from the campsite. It's about 4 or 5 hours ago now, and I'll have to see what I end up putting in if I put it in at the start. It's a lovely town, but on the way out of it I ended up there was major roadworks. The whole road was getting done, big machinery in the way. I had to lift the buggy round to the side and it just kind of ruined the video. You didn't miss anything much from there though, to be honest. Yeah, it was a nice road, but there was only a good view of the town every now and again, so it was more just a regular road really. So this bit looks nice. Not sure what's ahead. Yeah, I started the introduction and then I'll just have to do it again. So I left just yesterday, just crossing into Luxembourg, and it has been unbelievable ever since. Yeah, just lovely hillside and little towns. And then that town I was in was just unreal. I had no idea what was there, just the campsite looked nice, and it was, ended up, that's probably the best campsite I've been at. Had a swimming pool, the tent was right on the river, this small little river that just slowly went by. Then the other side was just a cliff face full of trees, loads of nature, butterflies, birds, all in it, like. And I took the day off yesterday. It was just so nice, and it was my birthday when I got there, so just like, yeah, treat myself, chill out, and I'm glad I did. Got to do some touristy stuff. I went up to that church, I went up to the monastery at the top. Yeah, but the church was unreal. Then you could kind of see that there was a monastery up at the top, so then I wandered up to that. There's a World War II shell. So much stuff like that around here. Let's just see, it's on German. I gotta keep moving on, a bit behind schedule. I'm gonna go. I could have easily gotten to Germany, but I wanted to do as much as Luxembourg as I could after how nice it was. So the plan is to get a campsite just on the border with Germany, but the one I'm looking at doesn't have a website. It seems very like small and just family run. Then there was another one right beside it that did have a website, but you had to book for 2 nights because it's now the high season. It's the 5th of July now, so I'm gonna go to that small family run one, and then if not, there's a couple of on the German side. It's just over the river, so I'll see. I might just book one of the German ones if I can. I'll give it another hour or so and decide. Lots of up and down hills today. Yeah, I wasn't sure where to record. I was waiting to get breakfast there, and it was nice, but you didn't miss too much. But I just like that visual coming out of the trees there that you just seen. It is kind of maybe going down there. Must be. It's very emblematic of Luxembourg, I felt. Now I'd like to get a nice high visual over the hills, because that's also what I've seen a lot of. But yeah, I kind of realised as well that I've been in Luxembourg for a while now and haven't recorded, because I recorded right up to the border, and then I did a bit more that day. I can't remember exactly, 10, 15, and then today, what have we done? About 18. So yeah, it's a tiny country, so doesn't sound like a lot, but I've gone past a fair bit. And yeah, yesterday I went for a swim, which was class. It was a real shallow pool though, but like 1.4 metre was the lowest. It was enough to just chill in, and yeah, it's one of the nicest campsites I've been to. 10 pitches right on the river, plugs right behind you for campers, no charge, €18. I couldn't stop laughing at the one that I went to in Newport, where I was in the travellers camping site. I call it camping site, is generous. There was just like a couple of homeless people living there, dogs pissing and shitting around my tent, and that was £20. So yeah, like Luxembourg seems to be slightly more expensive than the other countries, but it's the things that matter are reasonably priced, you know. Like I got some cheese yesterday, that was expensive, like €4 just for like 200 grams, But it was lovely cheese. It was a tiny shop, Portuguese shop, weirdly. Everyone in it was speaking Portuguese. That's neither here nor there. It's just when you're in them small towns, you don't have any option. It's the only shop in town. But and that was the cheapest cheese I had. But it ended up being lovely. I can't even remember the name of it. But I don't mind trying some different cheeses. And then I went to that in the morning, then went to the church and the monastery. The church is class, really nice, but the monastery was unbelievable. It's huge. You couldn't see much of it. When I got in, you could go to the church that I had, and they had a little gift shop open with, like, you know, rosary beads and apple juice and Bibles and stuff, ornaments. But the big chunk of the monastery, 95%, you couldn't go into. There's a big tower at the top. I really wanted to see. Maybe they have it opening tours some of the times, you know. Like, it was a front door and it just had reception and it, like, telephoned them. And I just had no idea what the procedure was. I didn't bother. I quickly went out and googled it, and a lot of people were saying that's all you can see. So because yeah, there's actual monks living in there. There's on that video I done this morning coming out of the town, you could hear the bells going off, but there's two sets of bells. That one, I think that was the one from the church, that has like a musical tone to it. But the monks up on the hill, they do be ringing the bell all the time. Like, there's, you know, just a monotonous dum dum dum, and they do it for about 5-10 minutes at 7 o'clock. Well, both mornings I was there. I just assumed they do it every other day. It's gas. Like, I set my alarm for 7:30. That'd easily wake you up. You know, it's nice as a tourist, but I can't imagine living there. It's like genuinely at least 5 minutes of bells. Then at 1:15 they go again for about 5 minutes. Then at 1:25 it went again. It's like the monks are there just like shaming everyone out of bed, you know. But then it'll just go at random times. I was trying to see, like, does it go every hour? Does it do this? Does it do that? And it genuinely seems like the monks are just up there being like, go on, do it again, do it again. The only voice they have is ringing the bell. They go to town on it. But yeah, and the campsite had like a train going by the cliff behind me, which doesn't sound nice, but you know, it going up halfway up the mountain, you know, it was nice. Oh, that's a steep hill, but you're getting them views. Just making sure I go left here and then follow it around. %17.7%. Holy moly. A lot of my day has been this. There was one even steeper. It was no fun at all. I was coming over the top and just like waiting to see the road, but it's just never crested like it. You know, it was like a roller coaster and the thing just dropped down. This thing has no brakes if you're new here. So it can be a bit straining on the hips. You should dig your heels in, you know. But it's alright. Then yesterday, after I went to the church and the monastery, I chilled out in the pool. Then I went in, just got some dinner at a kebab place. I was starving, so I just had 2 of them and a couple of beers, and then I came back, got a couple of beers in the reception, and I smoked a little bit of weed that your man gave me. the whistling guitar man, and it was great. I just listened to music and I just faced that wall of trees that I was saying, and there was dragonflies going, there was birds, butterflies, there was fish in the river, like there's people fishing kind of around you. The light was just like, I was hitting it lovely. It was just great. It's like a TV to watch, you know. And I managed to wash some clothes, machine washed, would you believe? Nearly 7 weeks and I finally machine washed some clothes. So we are locked and stocked, ready to go. He's gonna have a lot of control here because it's downhill. Just hope the car doesn't come. And, that's the good thing about these roads, even in more main roads that you go on. There's still relatively few cars. Now, it is Saturday today, but that's what I've noticed all the other days as well. Jesus, this is steep. Actually slows you down a fair amount because you can't build up momentum. Like I'm going about 7 minute kilometers now. Because if I go any faster, it'll start to run away at me. I hope this goes back onto a cycle path. That's what I was expecting. There's some climbing in my future now. I knew a lot of this was down here today, you know, you can see it when you look at the map. Why is this not updated? I'm just talking about the maps here, I'm just looking at my phone. But when I did look at the map, it said, you know, you can see X amount of elevation and Y amount of descent. And I've seen a lot of descent, but when it's like this, it's not a nice descent. You need it to be a gradual thing, you know. My canoe app isn't updating. I don't want to go down the wrong hill. What the hell? Apologies for this. Come on. No, no, no. Oh my god. Oh my god. I went the wrong way. I should have took a right back there. Ladies and gentlemen. That's a disaster. Too open to do it. These cars are going to stop me. Yeah, this is definitely not the road you want to be on. God's sake. We're going to the town of Putscheid. Oh my god, this is unreal. I can't believe I've done that. Oh. This is why I'm always looking at the map every 2 seconds, because you can miss a turn so easily. I'm gonna have to walk this. It's way too steep. More nuts and bolts for you. I was waiting for the town of Putscheid. I thought the term, when I quickly looked at it, was afterwards. But it wasn't, it was before. So there was no town to look at. Going down this hill. There was nice views there at least, that's what I was focused on with the camera. Oh man. I seen the sign for 17%. That really should have been a moment to say, hang on, let's make sure. Something happened with that app though. I got like a warning because I just pick it up as you're running, so I just glance at it and I just had a warning. I was like, forget it. Then I see my position wasn't updating. Oh my god. And we're back. Oh, that was a nightmare. If you watch back the video, I think where that dog was barking is where I had to turn. But that's never happened to me before. Like the commute app just stopped updating my position, so it just kept me in the same place. So when I checked it, it was a few kilometers back, and I should have took a left or whatever. The left I took that you seen it was wrong, because I was looking at the map further back. But yeah, then when I got to the place where I should have turned, there was a lovely bus stop that was surrounded, so I stopped there, had a coffee, filled up, and then I was running for a bit, and it was about here, this route that I wanted to record. When I got to it though, there was roadworks, and it said like you can't cycle down this way, but me being stupid thought I could get around it, and I went about a kilometre down this path, and then eventually got to a point I couldn't cross, so I had to turn around. So yeah, this day has definitely had its ups and downs, but this is the view I was looking for. At least I'm gonna I booked a campsite in Germany when I was having that break there, so this will be the only day in Luxembourg, so it's not the worst thing in the world that it's a bit chopped up and you're getting to see a bit different sections of it. Yeah, but then I just checked there, the campsite says that you have to check in by 6, so I'm not going to make it there till about 7. So I'm going to have to ring them after this. I would have got there after 6 anyway. Then with the detours and all that I've had, just making sure it'll be at least 7. I think I've like 20 kilometers left. And it is, let me see, 4 o'clock. Actually, I think there's a lot downhill. We might be closer than I think. We'll see. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, my storytelling's all over the place now with what happened and what I was telling is. Yeah, I can't remember. Like a few days ago I was telling you about that mountain I went over with and I seen the sign for the bear paws. As soon as I got over that mountain, it was like I was in Germany, you know, like the German part. That was still in Belgium. But just more the, whatever you call it, you know, the more German influence, like the campsite when I got to just over that hill, like I have done in every campsite in France and Belgium. I say bonjour, you know, unnuit in tent in French, you know. So your man starts speaking French back to me, and then I say, oh sorry, I don't speak French. And he's like, do you speak English? And I was like, yeah. And then he just looked at me like, why are you speaking in French then? And I was like, because 20 kilometers that way, if I came in trying to speak English, because that was the French part, they'd look at me like I was an asshole, you know? So it's just interesting. Just seeing the difference that quick. And then yeah, we had the day of the stone that I was talking about. I think the reason I was struggling so much yesterday was, you know, I was saying I got into World War II recently, in last year or two. I rewatched Band of Brothers not that long ago, probably only like 6 months ago, and that was after watching, there's a Netflix show called World War II from the Front Lines. It's actually crazy because it's really, really good. Because you know, when you think of World War II documentaries, it's always some guy in his 80s sitting in a chair talking about it, you know. But this didn't have any of that. It had some voiceovers from people, but all the footage they showed was real footage from the time. It's crazy how much they caught on camera. You'd swear it was the war was today. Like they've guys parachuting in with cameras on their chests, like proper. Probably like they had cell phones, you know, there's that much footage. So yeah, that just, you know, when I was watching it, it really hit me deeper than anything else from World War II I had before. And then I kind of forgotten about it, to be honest, even though you're getting near Germany. Yeah, then it just hit me. Holy moly. I'm definitely recording the right part now. Also, in that episode when I'm crossing the border into Luxembourg, and in the middle of nowhere I see a sign for Saturn. Remember I was saying I think it's a scale model. When I got further into Luxembourg, I seen one for the next planet. I think in that video actually I named the wrong planet. I think I said Jupiter, but it's Saturn. I don't know why I said Jupiter. And then the next one, I can't remember what planet it was, but there was another one and it had the same details about its diameter and distance from us and all. And I reckon, I didn't see any more, but I'd say they lead to the Large Hadron Collider, which I think is in Luxembourg. I could be wrong about that, but I know there's some European space stuff in there around here. Thank God, because I wanted to stay on this road. Okay. So quiet, the roads as well. Like the detour I ended up on, or I tried to go over the construction area and then I had to go back onto a main road. And that's one of the reasons I pushed through, was because the other option was a fairly busy road with a lot of motorbikes going by and all, but apart from that, you end up on roads like this. It's just lovely, so nice. Yeah, this campsite's paid for and all, and they are German, so they might be a stickler for the rules. Hopefully there's no issues. attempts at recording. I'm not sure how long this episode will be, but if it's the only one, I'm happy to use a bit extra memory for Luxembourg. I've talked about that enough with the wait to get my memory cards. Language to be speaking in Luxembourg. They seem to be alright with saying hello. But you do hear people, like, I was at the cash register in Aldi and the woman's like speaking French to one girl, then another person who works there goes by speaking German, speaking English to me, you know. Fairly impressive. Mishap with the commute that made me go down that hill happened on that hill. I've only gone down hills that steep maybe 3 or 4 times. I remember one in Wales. Yeah, maybe only one in Wales that was that steep, and then a couple of others that were similar, but just such bad timing. Anyway. I think with the route I'm taking as well, I'm going to pop into Germany, then back into Luxembourg for a bit, and then we'll finish just across the border campsite. And then, yeah, should be in Germany for a good while. Especially a bit longer than I thought as well, especially if I go to Sander out in the east near Munich. Could cross pretty much the whole country, so could be 3 weeks or so. Hopefully not that long, hopefully about 600 kilometers. I was saying earlier, so if I do 40 each day here alone, it would be 15 days, and then what's that? Memorial for people's faces on it. Sure, don't time to be stopping. So if that's 15 days, and then say I take 2 or 3 break days. Yeah, 2.5 weeks, and that's actually just the Sander. That wouldn't even get me out of the country. So yeah, probably won't be 3 weeks. Posted on the Instagram yesterday, because I have been like trying to keep people regularly up to date. So a while back I was like every day being like day 42, day 27, this many kilometers, this many total, this much raised for Autism Assistance Dogs. But it's just like yesterday when I was on that campsite, you know, I got there at like 7, it was so nice. This before I knew for sure I was going to stay the next day. And yeah, there's 7, cooked, cleaned. You know, I've mentioned this before, just how long it takes. So it's like 10 p.m. by the time we finished. And I just want to sit there for a half hour and unwind. It's the last thing I want to do is update Instagram. So yeah, I just kind of mentioned that I'm gonna just post when I have nice pictures or a bit of a story to tell, but not feel like I have to do it every day or every other day and then go back and say how many miles I did, because it's just not a big part of the story, you know what I mean? Not for me anyway. There's always going to be a lot of miles. Yeah, basically I was at a really nice place, and if I was to leave the next morning, if I hadn't took that day off and I'd spent that last half hour just updating Instagram and then going to bed and then moving, like I wouldn't have had a second to just take it in, you know. But you kind of, it's just what I feel like I have to do for the fundraising, you know. And I want to raise as much as possible, but yeah, that's just basically, that is what it is. I'm, you know, I'm not putting a lot of hashtags or anything or getting new followers from each post, so it's not like it's actually raising money, you know. So I want to keep people updated, but I'm going to do it on my terms from now on. No, it's the next one. God, I missed my turn. What should we do? 17, yeah, I'm gonna have to end it there. I think the other two bits we should be well over half an hour, and I have to ring that campsite, so we'll go straight there. That looks nice. Let's do another 5 minutes. This town looks lovely. I want to catch it all. Excuse me if you hear a few squeakers coming out of me. I think that's the 2 kebabs I had last night, pushing me forward incrementally. That's a much better place to stop. Bitch, Jesus. Got these roller coaster hills again. My body's really held up well, but I'd say I'm gonna feel it tonight. The joints. What they're running, just digging their heels in here. This way or left? This way. for Luxembourg. I'll see you in Germany. Thanks as always for watching. Oh, when I said that's a perfect place to spot, there was a table in that playground with the kids, but I didn't want to go in and put my camera, you know, and there's just 3 kids down around. But yeah, how long have we got left? 17.8 kilometers, and it's 4:30. Yeah, should be alright. Alright, thanks for watching, see you tomorrow.